In the early months of 1945, Europe was still under Nazi control. The war was approaching its end, but fierce battles continued across the continent. In a small Austrian town, a seemingly ordinary castle would become the site of one of the most bizarre battles in history. Castle Itter, a fortress holding some of France's most prominent prisoners, would witness an unprecedented alliance. American soldiers fighting alongside a few German soldiers, united against a common enemy. Today, we'll take you through this extraordinary, almost unbelievable true story. The prisoners in Castle Itter were far from ordinary. They included high-ranking French generals, politicians, and even famous cultural figures. One notable prisoner was General Maurice Gamelin, a former commander of the French army. These were individuals of enormous national significance, whose lives were directly threatened by the war. The prisoners were under strict Nazi supervision, yet as the Allies advanced, their fate grew increasingly uncertain. The SS had plans to execute them if the castle was compromised. Inside the castle, every movement carried enormous risk, and the tension was palpable. The prisoners had to rely on courage, hope, and, unexpectedly, some unlikely allies. Castle Itter itself was strategically located on a small hill overlooking a valley. Its walls, though impressive, were not designed for a modern siege. Defending the castle were American soldiers, part of the 12th Armored Division advancing through Austria. They were vastly outnumbered and facing well-armed SS units determined to eliminate the prisoners. In a twist of fate, a small number of Wehrmacht soldiers who had previously been guarding the prisoners joined the Americans in defending the castle. Their motivations were complex. Some were motivated by duty, others by a sense of humanity. What unfolded was a unique situation, enemies becoming allies in the final days of a war that had raged for 6 long years. On May 5, 1945, the SS launched a coordinated attack on the castle. The defenders, a mix of Americans, a handful of Germans, and the prisoners themselves, prepared for combat. The fighting was intense. American troops coordinated with former German adversaries, positioning themselves along the castle walls, preparing firearms, and reinforcing barricades. Prisoners, though mostly unarmed, contributed where they could, moving supplies, warning of approaching attackers, and boosting morale. For a brief moment in history, former enemies were working side by side, united by a common purpose: survival and protection of the innocent. During the battle, the defenders faced multiple waves of SS assaults. Ammunition ran low at critical moments, and the castle's walls were under heavy fire. Sergeant Charles Murphy, an American soldier, took extraordinary risks to coordinate defensive positions, rallying the defenders during moments of chaos. On the German side, Major Joseph Gangl, an officer who had decided to protect the prisoners, displayed immense bravery, exposing himself to enemy fire to cover American advances. The prisoners watched in awe as these unlikely heroes risked everything. It was a battle not only of weapons, but of courage, strategy, and sheer determination. After hours of fierce combat, reinforcements arrived, tipping the balance in favor of the defenders. The SS attackers were forced to retreat, leaving the castle in the hands of the Americans and their German allies. Remarkably, all the French prisoners survived the battle. Their liberation was a testament to the courage and cooperation of soldiers who had once been enemies. This battle remains the only documented instance in World War II where American and German soldiers fought together to defend prisoners from the SS. It's a story that defies conventional expectations of loyalty, enmity, and the chaos of war.